The first news, police. Two Americans found dead on Maersk, Alabama Captain Phillips ship. Two American security officers have been found dead on the Maersk, Alabama container ship. Police in the Seychelles said Wednesday. The vessel was moored at Port Victoria in the Indian Ocean archipelago. The men, both 44, were found dead on Tuesday. CNN first learned about the incident on Twitter. A postmortem will be carried out this week in order to establish the cause of their sudden deaths, police said, adding that the police investigation is ongoing. The Maersk, Alabama was targeted by Somali pirates in an attempted hijacking of the east coast of Africa in 2009. The 2013 film Captain Phillips is based on the incident. The two men worked for Trident Group, a Virginia-based maritime security services firm. The company's president, Tom Ruth said the men were former Navy SEALs. It's bizarre, of course. It's a shock. They're all great guys, Ruth said. I'm absolutely clueless as to what happened. Kevin N. Spears, a senior director for Maersk Line Limited, said in a statement that the security contractors boarded the vessel on January 29th, and that their deaths were not related to vessel operations or their duties as security personnel. Maersk Line Limited contracts with Trident Group in accordance with U.S. Coast Guard security directives, Spears said in the statement. Contracted security is part of anti-piracy protection plans to safeguard crews and vessels, Spears said. In Maersk, Alabama's case, she is persistently in high-risk areas since she provides feeder service to the east coast of Africa. The vessel was cleared to complete cargo operations, and she is now at anchor awaiting further instructions. Senior Chief Petty Officer Daniel Tramper said the U.S. Coast Guard had been notified about the deaths of two U.S. citizens and is investigating, but due to the nature of the investigation, that will be about all that we can provide right now. State Department spokeswoman Mary Harf confirmed the men were U.S. citizens. The Coast Guard is involved in the investigation because the Maersk, Alabama is a U.S.-flagged ship, Harf said. Police said the ship arrived in the Seychelles on Sunday with a 24-man crew and had been expected to leave Tuesday. The bodies were found by a colleague who had gone to check in on one of the men in a cabin at about 4:30 p.m. Tuesday, Seychelles police said. In April 2009, four armed pirates attempted to hijack the Maersk, Alabama, 380 miles off the coast of Somalia. After the crew sank the pirates' vessels and foiled their efforts to take control of the container ship, the pirates took the ship's captain, Richard Phillips, hostage on a lifeboat. The incident ended 3 days later when Navy sharpshooters killed three of the pirates and captured the fourth. Phillips was unharmed. The ship was attacked by pirates again later that year. but armed security personnel fought them off. Another attempt by pirates to board the ship in March 2011 was thwarted when security personnel fired warning shots. The second news: new radioactive water leak at Japan's Fukushima Daiichi plant. Tokyo, CNN. A large amount of radioactive water has leaked from a holding tank at Japan's troubled Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, its operator said Thursday. The leak of an estimated 100 metric tons of highly contaminated water was discovered late Wednesday, Tokyo Electric Power Company said in a statement. The tainted water flowed over a barrier around the tank and is being absorbed into the ground, TEPCO said. The plant has shut off the inflow of water into the tank and the leaking has stopped, it added. The company doesn't believe that there was any leakage of radioactive water into the nearby Pacific Ocean. Since the massive earthquake and tsunami that hit northeastern Japan in March 2011 set off meltdowns at 3 of the reactors at the nuclear plant, TEPCO has been storing the enormous volumes of water contaminated at the state in a steadily growing collection of containers. The company has struggled to manage the vast amounts of radioactive water, with a number of leaks reported last year. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's government vowed to step in to deal with the toxic water crisis at the plant that caused concern in Japan and a board about the scale of the problem faced by TEPCO. The leak reported Thursday is one of the largest since TEPCO reported last summer that about 300 tons of radioactive water had leaked from a tank. CNN first learned about the latest incident on Twitter. The third news: North and South Korea hold first family reunion in 4 years. Families torn apart for more than 60 years, separated by the Korean War, began to reunite at a mountain resort in North Korea Thursday, without any regular forms of communications between the two Koreas. The family members have gone decades without phone calls, letters, or emails, unable to know whether their loved ones are alive or dead. The majority of the participants in South Korea are now in their 80s and 90s. The meetings are likely to be the last time the separated families will have contact with one another. Thursday's reunion will be the first since 2010. The negotiations leading to the expected reunions have also been painstaking, reflecting the tensions between North and South Korean governments. Past reunions have been emotional affairs with sobbing relatives, clinging to each other and showing each other family photos. On Thursday, the first of a 5-day event, an initial 200 North and South Koreans will meet. Among them is Jan Chun, whose brother was 8 years old when he last saw him. Jan, a North Korean conscript during the Korean War, was taken prisoner by UN forces in South Korea. He has since lived in the South and has been unable to see his family. But 4 years ago, He received a letter and several photos of his family in North Korea through the Red Cross. The black and white photos showed his brother and a picture of his brother's wedding. Major life milestones Jen had been unable to attend. It was shocking, he said. I didn't even know they were alive, although I had hoped they were. After reading the letter, I started crying. I was filled with both joy and sorrow. Read Horrific crimes revealed in UN report. Jen clutched the only memorabilia he has of his long-lost family. Whenever I miss my family, I read this letter, Jen said. Jen, silver-haired and aging, thought he finally got his chance when he learned he'd be part of a reunion group last September. The reunion waitlist in Seoul has thousands of names, and the lucky ones are selected through a computer-generated lottery. But Pyongyang cancelled the September event with only a few days' notice, accusing Seoul of searing ties between the two countries. It was like being hit on the back of the head, Jen said about the shock of coming so close, only to have his hopes dashed. I had to take medication and sedatives. It may have felt like deja vu for Jen in February, after the Korean government reached an agreement to hold reunions. Less than a day later, North Korea said it may back out if South Korea holds its annual military drills with the United States. South Korea has refused to cancel the annual drills. Pyongyang's attempts to link the reunions to politics were rejected by both Seoul and Washington, who see it as a purely humanitarian issue. Read Uncertainty still dominates on Korean Peninsula. Trust remains tenuous in the peninsula, separated by the world's most fortified border, the demilitarized zone and rocked by North Korea's nuclear test last year. Although delayed by snow, 82 South Korean participants, accompanied by 58 other members, arrived Wednesday afternoon and were scheduled to have lunch before finally meeting their families. The rarity of inter-Korea reunions meant that many participants in ill health insisted on going to Mount Kumgan for the event, desperate for a chance to see their relatives. 19 of the South Korean participants were in wheelchairs. 2 South Korean participants departed for the reunion venue by ambulance. One of them was receiving an IV drip, refusing to miss the date. South Korean participants of the reunion were seen bringing gifts for their family members. The most popular gifts for families in North Korea were choco pies, a chocolate-covered treat, along with medicine and medical supplies like painkillers. According to YTN, a CNN affiliate in South Korea, read how choco pie infiltrated North Korea's sweet tooth. They were greeted with a newly made stone near their North Korean facilities that read, "Long live General Kim Jong-un, the son of military First Korea." The fourth news, fresh violence marks truce, talks in Akron. Are you in Akron? Send us your photos and experiences, but please stay safe. A shaky truce crumbled in Kiev on Thursday morning, with gunfire erupting at Maidan, or Independence Square, which has been ground zero for anti-government protesters. As security forces were moving away from the area, a group of protesters pursued them. CNN crews at the scene saw demonstrators falling to the ground. At least 3 bodies were carried away in stretchers. It was unclear whether they were dead or wounded. The scene was reminiscent of Tuesday's lethal violence and chaotic clashes that left 28 dead, police and protesters alike. Thursday's violent developments came just hours after Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych announced a truce, and opposition leaders had agreed to abide by. Later Thursday, European foreign ministers will hold an emergency meeting in Brussels, while 3 of them will go to Akron to do diplomatic triage. Peace talks. Opposition leader Vitaly Klitschko, a famous former world-class boxer, will sit down once again with Ukraine's President Viktor Yanukovych. Their meeting Wednesday led to the truce. During the talks intended to prevent further bloodshed and forge a lasting peace, Yan, um, Yanukovych has promised that there will be no further attempts to disperse protesters in Maidan. According to a statement on Klitschko's party's website, they have done plenty of talking, although the street protesters, which began in November when Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych reversed a decision to sign a trade deal with the European Union and instead turned toward Russia. Dissatisfaction with the Yan, Yanukovych's decision morphed into resentment of his closeness to Russia and an attack on his base of power. They demand changes to the constitution that would hand some of it to the parliament. The unrest intensified after an anti-protest law went into effect. Throngs of demonstrators took to the streets to decry the law. Their numbers and fury ballooned and led to street clashes and flaming barricades. Epic fell, bloodshed. There were important consolatory moves in recent days when the government pledged chains and amnesty to protesters, and they, in exchange, pulled back from buildings it was holding. But hope broke down when Parliament blocked a reform measure, triggering rage on the streets that was met with a heavy police response, leading to the bloodiest day in the street standoff. Cries of blame came from the Ukrainian government and its opposition. They were quickly followed by an outcry of indignation from Western leaders, from U.S. President Barack Obama to European Union leaders. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and many of his European counterparts placed most of the responsibility on Yanukovych's government's shoulders, and talked of leveling sanctions at it. France, Poland, and Germany's foreign ministers were among them. Now, those countries' foreign ministers will push for peace in person. A day earlier, the European Union, and Washington waived the possibility of economic sanctions against Yanukovych's government in the air. But the weight of sanctions have a counterbalance. Russia is standing by with billions in economic relief. I report protesters describing bloodied people being rushed to medics. The fifth news. Sochi 2014. Russia's ice hockey dream ends as Vladimir Putin watches on. It was the Holy Grail, the gold medal that President Vladimir Putin and his fellow Russians had dreamed of. It wasn't just about reasserting Russia's standing on the ice hockey stage. This was about pride, tradition, and proving that the host nation stars players could deliver in front of the watching world. Putin took his seat inside Sochi's expectant Bolshoi ice dome. The Russian people dared to dream, and a party appeared destined to break out across the country. But there was one small problem. Somebody forgot to tell Finland. When Leah Kovalchuk opened the scoring for Russia in the first period, it appeared that the host nation would be celebrating come the end of the contest. But Finland had other ideas, fighting its way to a historic 3-1 victory, which broke Russian hearts and left Putin looking glum at the most expensive Winter Olympics in history. I cannot explain my feelings. Inside, I'm absolutely empty, Russian captain Pavel Datsyuk told reporters. The emotion we feel right now is disappointment. Disappointment that we didn't live up to the hopes placed on us. There were great hopes placed on us and we didn't live up to them. Finland, which finished third in Vancouver 4 years ago, equalized through Johanmati Aaltonen's effort before Teemu Selänne completed the comeback ahead of the first intermission. Mikael Granlund added a third early in the second period to seal the win and silence a stunned crowd. Finland will now face the highly fancied Swedes in the semi-finals after defeating Slovenia 5-0. Carl Hagelin scored twice with Alexander Steen, Daniel Sutton, and Loel Eriksson also on target. Three-time defending champion Canada overcame a brave effort from Latvia with a 2-1 victory, and will now face the United States in a rematch of the 2010 final. The Americans, who beat Russia earlier in the competition, eased into the semis with a 5-2 victory over the Czech Republic. History maker Biathlon star All Inear Bjørnolden made history by winning a record 13th medal at the Winter Olympics as Norway claimed gold in the mixed relay. The 14-year-old overtook fellow countryman and cross-country ski star Bjørn Dahlhill, who won 12 medals during his career. But Bjorn Dillon, who has now won 8 gold medals, teamed up with Amy Helge Salvesen for the men's legs and Tora Berger and Tiril Aktrov for the women's, as Norway cruised home. The Czech Republic took silver with Italy in third. But Bjorn Dillon, taking part in his 6 games, won his first medal at Nagano in 1998. He has 19 World Championship titles to his names and started his Sochi competition by winning the 10 km sprint. But Bjorn Dillon came close to winning his 13th medal in the 20 km individual last week, but had to settle for 4th place. He also missed out on a medal in Tuesday's mass start where he made 4 errors in the final shooting. Mistakes now repeated on this occasion. My shooting was really good. I was more focused than yesterday, but today it was working again, he told reporters. I was really nervous before the race because you don't work for yourself only, but also for the team. I had not prepared myself for this. It's a dream. Our performance is unique. But Bjorn Dillon can add a 14th medal to his collection in Saturday's relay event. Ligeti Joy. Ted Ligeti became the first U.S. male alpine skier to win 2 Olympic gold medals, following his triumph in Wednesday's giant slalom. Ligeti, 29, who won the Super Combined title in 2006, exercised the demons of 4 years ago in Vancouver, where he failed to finish in the medals. I've answered Vancouver questions for the last 4 years, he told reporters. I didn't do very well there. That hasn't bothered me that much. I moved on past that and my best years have been since then and, in a lot of ways, because of that. Those are always questions I get, even at World Cup. Ligeti had little problem dealing with the pressure on this occasion, carving out an advantage of 0.92 seconds after his first leg before coming home 0.48 ahead of Steve Michler, with fellow Frenchman Alexis Pinturault claiming bronze. It was a huge relief, he added, following his victory. I've been wanting to win this medal for my whole life and even more so, in a realistic sense. In the last few years, all season long everyone talks about the Olympics. At a certain point I was just like, let's do it already. Let's get this thing over with, so we can stop talking about the pressure and everything with it. It's awesome to be able to come here and be able to compete and do it, and finally get the monkey off the back. Bold blow. 6-time Olympic medalist Bode Miller has confirmed that he will not take part in Saturday's slalom after suffering a knee injury in the giant slalom, where he finished 20th. The American, who missed the whole of last season after undergoing knee surgery, became the oldest alpine ski medalist at the age of 36 years and 127 days when he finished third in the men's Super G at Sochi. I'm bummed I'm out for the slalom. I wanted a miracle. Thank you for all the amazing support. It's been incredible, tweeted Miller. Miller won Super Combined Gold in 2010 while also claiming silver in the Super G and bronze in the downhill. He won 2 silver medals at the 2002 Salt Lake Games. Family fortunes. There was a snowboarding husband and wife triumph in the parallel giant slalom as Vic Wild won gold in the men's event just minutes after his spouse Eliza Severnina claimed bronze in the women's competition. Wild, who was born in the US but switched to Russia in 2011 following his marriage to Severnina, made his decision after founding for the United States Ski and Snowboard Association. Slalom program was cut. I went the hard way, the 27-year-old told reporters. Russia has lots of good riders. Russia has the opportunity for me to win races, not for me to go to the Olympics. Russia is the country that has given me the opportunity to win the medal. If I was still riding for the USA, I'd be back home, maybe with some mediocre job, doing something mediocre. That's not who I wanted to be. Severnina was thrilled with her success but was keen to press her husband following his move to Russia. I'm very happy that Vic got gold, she said. This is what he worked for. He's so far from his hometown. He did an amazing job. He had to switch countries, switch nationality, accept something that some people would never accept. He has to deal with Russian mentality, with stuff he's not used to, working with people who don't understand him most of the time. In the men's event, Switzerland's Navin Gomarny was second with Rogers Zhang Corsier in third. Pre-race favorite Patricia Kammer claimed Switzerland's 50th Winter Olympic gold medal in the women's event. Tomoka Takuchi of Japan finished second to become the first woman from Asia to win a medal in snowboard in Olympic history. Queen of skating, Martina Sablikova, the Czech Republic's Queen of Skating, continued her domination of the women's 5,000 meters by successfully defending her Olympic title. Sabkova's times of 6 minutes 51.54 seconds was enough to push 3,000 meters champion Liren Wust into second ahead of fellow Dutch racer Karen Kubacker. The Netherlands have won 21 of the 30 speed skating medals on offer, including 6 of the 10 golds, but they failed to overhaul Sabkova on this occasion. After winning the 3,000 and 5,000 4 years ago, the 26-year-old parried to victory, despite having adjusted her glasses during the race. After winning gold in Vancouver, it's great to win it here in Sochi as well, and this time in front of all my family, she told reporters. Bobsleigh Joy, Canada's Kelly Humphries, and Heather Moyes successfully defended their Olympic bobsleighing title after pimping the U.S. by a tenth of a second. USA won, led by Elena Meyers and Brackman Lauren Williams, had held a lead of 0.11 seconds going into the final round but endured a disappointing final effort that allowed Humphries and Moyes to snatch gold, with Americans Jermaine Grobel and Aja Evans taking bronze. Winning gold is amazing, but walking away satisfied is better. After the third round, I knew that if we did the business, we could be on top. Humphreys told reporters, "When you have to rely on someone else or wait and see, it makes it hard." Curling: Sweden will face Canada in a repeat of the 2010 Women's Curling Final. Sweden, aiming for a third successive gold medal, saw off Switzerland 7-5 in the semi-finals. Canada, unbeaten so far, edged out Great Britain 6-4, and skipper Jenny Jones is confident her team can take revenge on the Swedes this time around. Switzerland and Great Britain will compete for the bronze medal on Thursday. In the men's event, Canada will face Great Britain in the final. Canada defeated China 10-6, while Britain edged out Sweden 6-5. High five! Norway's cross-country skiing star Marit Bjorgen claimed the fifth gold medal of her illustrious career after leading her country to victory in the women's team sprint race. Bjorgen, who raced with Ingvild Flogstad Oisberg, had already won Scotland gold at Sochi to add to the three she won at Vancouver 2010. It left her one short of the record by a female Winter Olympian, jointly held by Soviet speed skater Lydia Skobivkova and Russian cross-country skier Lyubov Yegorova. Kerttu Niskanen and Anu Kasia Saarinen of Finland came second with Ida Ingermarsdottir and Stina Nilsson in third. In the men's race, Finland produced a stunning victory to claim the country's first gold in Sochi thanks to the efforts of Sami Janhojdorvi and Leivo Niskanen. The pair, who took it in turns to perform three sprints each, finished in 23 minutes and 14.89 seconds to see off Russia and Sweden. Classic Kim. In the women's figure skating, defending champion Kim Yuna of Korea claimed top spot in the short program. Her score of 74.92 was the highest ahead of home favorite Adelina Santikova. Italian's Carolina Kostner produced a fine performance to finish on 74.12 to finish ahead of U.S. medal hopeful Gracie Gold. The competition will conclude with Thursday's free program.